Hello and welcome to my first explainer video. Um, Today we're going to be talking about repurposing your older paintings to new ones. You'll have to forgive me, I just got out of the hospital recently and I'm a little short of breath. I'll try to stuff it out here. What I'm doing here in this work, I've done a thumbnail on a piece of paper. I used my cell phone to trace out like a small frame, and then I just quickly doodled out more or less like what you're going to see here, and kind of worked out like the composition and the subject matter, for this painting in advance. I find that doing so saves you a tremendous amount of time. Anyway, as you can see, I'm just doing these spiky cliffs here. The idea was to do like this fortress slash castle, sort of wrapped within this mountain, almost similar to like the Ivory Tower. How like it's within this hollowed out mountain almost, but the path leading to it being like a long winding path with a sharp fall off with jagged cliffs below, which would mean, instant death to anybody who fell. So it's at this point in the painting where I say, okay, I think I'm at a point where the the rocks and the lighting's more or less there. And it occurred to me that, hey, I have a painting that I've done before that I could probably use some pieces from and get like more of a deeper textured look. What I wind up doing here is looking through some of my paintings, pulling up this image labeled Lagoon, which isn't a painting of a lagoon at all. So I've pulled up this image, taking a screenshot, and then slapping it onto my painting. Not a big deal. Mainly what I want to use is that winding pathway you see right here. Because I really enjoyed the way that the rocks looked. I was like, oh, dude, those were really cool looking. Something about the masks in the mask system in Manga Studio that I think is unique to this software over Photoshop is the fact that when you use a mask, you're instead of painting with black and white in order to show visibility like you would in Photoshop, you would need to use the erase tool to hide something, and then paint with any color, white, black, in order to show within Manga Studio. So because they have an alpha color, basically that you paint with transparency, you can have all the benefits of your paintbrushes with your layer masks. So as you notice, my brushes tend to be rather runny. The colors blend a lot, and there's a lot of color pushing within my brushes. That's kind of how I like it with watercolor brushes. So now that I've more or less got a rough of like the blended area here, I'm gonna go ahead and select this ridge from this image, this part of the image, and like I like the jagged selection I made, so I was just like, okay, well, I'm just gonna go ahead and bring it down in here, and then move it into position and align it properly, and just kind of use it as a basis of like the edge of this road here, and then blend it in once more using the layer masks. Most people, when they see this, they will think, oh, you using photos in your paintings, things like this are forms of cheating, and I can say that nothing could really be further from the truth. I remember some years ago, like when digital painting first started making the scene, like started to become popular. People would point out that like, oh, everything that they painted within the image was all hand done, and that was like really important. I think that that's because traditional artists, because before they moved to digital, they were traditional, and when you were a traditional artist, everything you saw was hand painted. D- don't let it be a crutch in your work. Like, I mean, do learn to paint these things. Just drawing things that have enough freedom within them to allow you to make mistakes, like rocks, like trees, things in nature that are not symmetrical. Inspiration is something that you can't you can't just sit at home and expect to have fall into your lap. It's something you have to actively be seeking. Only expose yourself to things that which you would like to have influence you. I'm also a musician, and it's one of the skills that I bring from music into my art, which is only letting that which I want to have influence on me. That everything I do, uh, whether it's like a film I might watch, um, I love cartoons, American and Japanese. You know, um, any cartoon I might watch, any manga I might read, any material that I'm looking at is stuff that I want to directly let influence my future work. Any music, um, so I never um, allow myself to be like exposed in a prolonged way to things that I don't consider useful to me. So basically, everything I see is stuff that I want to use in future work. It's kind of a difficult way to live, but well, not really. It's not difficult, but it's um it's a less interesting way to. So, because sometimes you can't you never know what you're going to be influenced by. You never know when you're going to see something that compels you to paint something, your next great work. Try to let those things only be stuff that you want to let influence your work. And deliberate practice too. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you like this content, I'll be releasing more in the future, and I hope to see you there.